Hi there, my name is Alice, and today we're going to talk about volunteering. Have you ever thought why people decide to volunteer? There are many people who live their life and they feel that something is missing. So this something is a strong sense of purpose. So they can't find or they don't see their purpose in the life. So the first phrase we're going to look at today is a strong sense of purpose. A strong sense of purpose is a clear and compelling reason for someone's actions or goals. For example, Mary's strong sense of purpose motivated her to volunteer at the local food bank every week. So there is no need to say that there is a variety of types of volunteering. For example, you can help in a food bank. You can go and work there for a couple of hours a day or a week, or you can donate food for their users. The next phrase we're going to look at today is exorbitant rents. Exorbitant rents, they're extremely high rental costs that are beyond what is considered to be reasonable or affordable. So they're very expensive rents. For example, the exorbitant rents in the city have forced many young professionals to move to the suburbs. There is no need to say that it's more comfortable to live in the city center or inside the city because you spend less time on commuting. But when the prices are too high and many people can't afford them, so people are forced and we are forced to move out of the city in order to pay less and more affordable prices, rental prices. One of the solutions that can be found is when young people rent a room in other people's house, in elderly people's house. In this case, they've got a mutual support. So what is mutual support? Mutual support is the act of helping and providing assistance to one another for a common purpose. So here we've got for young people a possibility and opportunity to pay cheaper rental price, and for elderly people to learn from young people how to use social media or new electronic gadgets, devices they have no idea how to use. Let's see an example of mutual support in a sentence. The members of the community formed a mutual support group to help each other during the pandemic. So we all remember when during the pandemic we were forced to stay at home, a lot of mutual support groups were created. So people were helping each other, their neighbors, their relatives, they were doing shopping for them, or they were going to the pharmacy. So we were helping each other, or we're helping those who couldn't go out because they didn't have opportunity to do so. So this is called mutual support. Talking about different types of volunteering, we can mention indoor chores. They're all household tasks that we normally do inside the house, such as cleaning, washing, cooking, ironing, or organizing. For example, John helps his mom with indoor chores every weekend. So, for example, if you've got elderly relatives or you've got elderly neighbor, probably we can help them with their indoor chores. The next interesting phrase we're going to look at today is profound impact. Profound impact is a significant and lasting effect or influence on someone or something. For example, the teacher's word had a profound impact on the student's outlook on life. Talking about the purposes of volunteering, we can't forget about reducing a generation gap. What is a generation gap? A generation gap is the difference and the distance between different generations. So to reduce a generation gap means to narrow the difference and improve the communication between people of different generations. For example, the school organized a program to reduce the generation gap between students and seniors in the community. Do you remember an example I gave you earlier when we were talking about exorbitant rents, when young people rent a room in elderly people's house? So here we've got one of the ways to reduce the generation gap. Because young people, they are in touch with elder generation, they learn a lot from their experience, at the same they've got opportunity to have cheaper, affordable rental. But on the other hand, the elder people, they've got opportunity to learn from young people about new technologies, and also they can receive help with their indoor chores. So here we're reducing the generation gap and we're improving their communication. The next phrase we're going to look at today is a lack of interaction. It's a situation when there is few, little, or no communication or engagement between people or group of people. Again, during the pandemic, there were a huge problem because there were a lot of people who were suffering from loneliness because of this lack of interaction. For example, the remote work policy has led to a lack of interaction between employees in the office. The remote way of working was introduced during the pandemic, and we were all happy because we can save time on commuting. But this way of working has a downside, which is a lack of interaction. So if there were new employees in the company, we didn't have any chance to get to know them because we all were working from home online. The next phrase we're going to look at today is actually an idiom, to be in dire need of something. When you are in dire need of something, that means that you are urgently need something very essential, something basic. For example, the people in the flood-affected areas are in dire need of food and shelter. So here we're not talking about luxury holidays. We're not talking about expensive car. So what people need is food, shelter, probably clothes, something very basic. The next word we're going to look at today is immigration. Immigration is the act of coming of people to live permanently in a foreign country. For example, the United States has a long history of immigration, with people from all over the world coming to live and work here. So here we're talking about immigrants, but we can't forget about refugees who flee from their countries. To flee is to escape or to run away from a dangerous or unpleasant situation. For example, the refugees fled their countries to escape persecutions or violence. So what's the difference between immigrants and refugees? Refugees, they flee from their countries, they escape from their countries because their lives are in danger. If you want to volunteer and you don't know where to start, I recommend you to look for animal shelters. Animal shelters, they are places where animals that are lost, abandoned, or unwanted are cared for and sheltered. In the place where I live, we've got numerous animal shelters. We've got shelters for cats and shelters for dogs. So on weekends, my kids love going there. We donate food for animals, and my kids can enjoy their time playing with cats and playing with dogs, and they have great time there. I hope you've enjoyed the video. For more videos, follow my channel. Bye bye for now.